There was a time when men were not made in classrooms. They were made in cold, in hunger, in dirt and blood and repetition. There was a time when civilization did not offer safety as a promise. It demanded strength as payment. Every stone wall you admire, every paved road you take for granted, every quiet night you sleep through undisturbed was bought by men whose names were never written down. Rome did not rise on philosophy alone. It rose on shattered knuckles, on broken teeth, on feet that kept marching after the will had already collapsed. Samurai were not poets first. They were trained to fall correctly before they were taught to rise with a blade. They learned discipline through pain, and patience through proximity to death. Frontier men did not chase destiny. They chopped it out of frozen ground. They met starvation before breakfast. They met danger before sleep. And when the wolf came at night, there was no emergency number to call. Only steel, only fire, only nerve. These were not perfect men. They were often brutal, often flawed, often terrible in ways modern people struggle to comprehend. But they were necessary, because every age of comfort stands on the shoulders of an age that bled without applause. Iron is not a metaphor. It is a teacher. It answers every question the same way, with resistance. It does not reward intention. It only rewards force properly applied. A sword does not care about your feelings. A field does not care about your anxiety. A storm does not pause for your self-image. Steel does not care what you believe. And so the men who learned to live beside it were changed by it. They learned restraint not through theory, but through consequence. They learned courage not through affirmations, but through exposure. Pain was not a trauma. It was feedback. Failure was not an identity. It was instruction. And every man understood a truth modern men are rarely allowed to hear. You are not valuable because you exist. You become valuable when you are useful under pressure. Iron men were not born strong. They were stripped down until only strength remained. And now we live in the age that iron built, but no longer understands. We inherited walls we did not raise, systems we did not suffer to create, comfort we did not earn through danger. And slowly, quietly, we began to believe the world was supposed to feel this way. The lights always on, the food always arriving, the machines always responding. The distance between cause and consequence stretched so far that responsibility began to feel optional. Men were no longer forged, they were buffered. Risk was simulated, struggle was curated, pain was outsourced. We replaced the weight of tools with the glow of screens. We replaced real enemies with imagined ones. We replaced discipline with distraction. And for the first time in history, an entire generation of men grew up without ever being needed for survival. Not because danger disappeared, but because other men stood quietly between danger and collapse. The last men of iron did not vanish in conquest, they vanished in utility. When machines grew stronger than muscle, and laws grew thicker than oaths, and systems grew deeper than skill, the Iron Man was told he was obsolete, too harsh, too disciplined, too rigid, too unnecessary. So he set his tools down, and the soft age called this progress. But every civilization that forgets how it is defended begins to mistake peace for permanence. You can already see the symptoms. Men who rage online but freeze in reality. Men who speak of tyranny but cannot govern themselves. Men who inherit freedoms they could never physically protect. We have built a world that runs on unseen steel, while teaching the next generation that steel is symbolic. No child today fears winter. No man today expects famine. No city today plans for real siege. The danger is not that men are wicked. The danger is that men are unnecessary, and nothing atrophies faster than unused strength. For generations, Iron Men absorbed chaos so others would never see it, and the Soft Age mistook that absence of catastrophe for proof that catastrophe had been defeated. It has not. It has only been delayed. Every system that removes struggle invites dependency. Every tool that replaces skill invites fragility. Every comfort that replaces competence invites collapse. Empires do not fall when they are weak. They fall when they believe weakness no longer matters. Rome did not fall from attack alone. It fell from forgetting what its defenders once endured. The samurai did not disappear from defeat. They were dissolved by politics that no longer required honor. The frontier man did not fade into legend because the land was conquered, but because the danger was outsourced to institutions instead of individuals. And now we stand at the same edge every soft civilization eventually reaches, where the walls still stand, but the hands that built them are gone, where the weapons still exist, but the will to carry them does not. The warning is not loud, it is not cinematic, it does not come with fire on the horizon. It comes as comfort, it comes as convenience. It comes as the quiet assumption that tomorrow will function the same as today, until one day it doesn't. And when that moment arrives, the machines will stall, the rules will hesitate, the systems will ask questions they were never designed to answer, and the Soft Age will look around for Iron Men only to discover they taught their sons not to become them. Steel does not care what age you live in. It will ask the same question it always has. What can you actually lift when the illusion breaks? The last men of iron are not figures of the past. They are figures of transition. They exist wherever comfort is ending and reality is returning. The warning is simple, not dramatic, not hopeful, not cruel, just true. A soft world cannot protect itself. It can only be protected by men it no longer knows how to make. The last men of iron are not gone. They are only hidden in quiet places, in garages, in early mornings, in empty gyms before sunrise, in fathers who fix what breaks instead of talking about it, in men who still lift what is heavy because it needs to be lifted. The forge did not disappear. It only grew smaller, hotter, more selective. Iron is not forged by crowds. It is forged by decision. And the decision still exists. So if the Soft Age must end, let it end with men who remember how to build again.